How's it going, everyone, and welcome back. And in this video I'm going to be showing you how to build this. A Warhammer 40k Thunderhawk. A lot of you have requested some Warhammer ships and I've decided to do it. It's taken me a little while because I had to figure out how to do it. Now it goes without saying you need to use console commands for this or a mod that extends the ship build size. This ship isn't built on console. Whoa. Don't shout at me, calm down, right? I know you're on console and can't build it. I'm going to show you how to build this soon. A Warhammer 40k gunship, which is a smaller scale version, not as big and as epic as the Thunderhawk, but I'll show you how to build it. Okay, so don't shout at me, calm down, enjoy this video. One will be coming for you soon, for the people on console that can't build this, alright? Chill. To being an avid Warhammer fan myself, I was like, yeah, it's about time I do a ship. I've tried when the game first launched, but I didn't really know how to do it, so it's taken me a little while. Now I must admit, I don't play 40k anymore. I probably should get back into it. I've heard 10th edition's good, but I do play Age of Sigmar. Now some of you might be wondering, what does he play? What army? I'm literally looking at my models now, actually. So I've got 3 armies. My main army's Iron Jaws, obviously, and then my backup armies, or my secondary armies, are Stormcast Eternals and Slaves to Darkness. I've actually just started rebuying my Stormcast Eternals because I didn't like the paint job that I'd done on the originals, so I was like, oh no, what, I'll strip the paint with BioStrip, and it melted my entire Stormcast army. I'm not even joking. I watched hundreds of pounds worth of Warhammer just melt away, but yeah, it is what it is. And this is why Games Workshop need to sponsor me. Like, what are you playing at, Games Workshop? Sort it out. I need more of your stuff, alright? Anyways, let's get back to the video at hand. Now, before I show you how to build it, you're probably going to want to see what she's like in combat, so here you go, enjoy. Right, so let's get into the build. So, the old Frontier, the old faithful, she served us well. It's time to rebuild. Now, I just want to state, follow what I'm doing here. This is going to be an absolute mess inside, though. Don't think you're going to be building a ship that's pretty on the inside, because it's not. So we're going to use Deimos companionways, the 1x1s. We will use 3x3s and 2x3s and all that good stuff, but we're using 1x1s to change the colour later on. So as you noticed on my ship, there's like, I've gone for a corn theme, which is red and black and a bit of gold. But the problem is you can't, you know, if it's all too big, but the bit's too big basically and too bulky, you can't do like individual colours, and I wanted like an angled black going down the side, so this is why we're using the 1x1s. And then we'll just fill out with the 2x2s and the 2x1s basically. And we're going to make hollow interiors like I'm doing now. So we're building around this shape. Now the reason for that is because obviously using the console commands or the mod, you can have like more engines, more this, more that. We're going to be hiding all the reactors, all the shields, everything basically, because we don't want anything on the outside to, you know, take away from the main shape of the ship. Because looking at the you know, when I use the Thunderhawk as a reference picture, you know, it's got a couple of engines and stuff, but you don't see half the tat that's in this game on those ships. So we're going to be using it to hide things. So here we go, like, it's nice and hollow. So what you can do in here is we'll put an engine, because this is a massive ship. You need more than the 4 engines that you can have. I think you can have like 4 or 5, like 3 Class C's and 2 Class B's. You're going to need way more engines because the mobility will be like 1. You want the mobility at about 50, 47 to 50. That's like a good range. So the reason you want the mobility at that kind of level is because it's being a big ship, you don't want it having 100 mobility and turning on a penny, because it just looks really too unrealistic. You want it to have a bit of like, you know, bit of a boat kind of maneuver. But again, look, we're making more hollow shapes, so I am going to show you a side shot of the entire shape later on, so you can literally just pause the video and copy, and all you'll be doing is like, it's free wide, so nice and easy. So we'll build some more here. We're going to be hollowing out again. But yeah, like I just want to elaborate on what I just said. I'll do a side shot later on so you can see the full shape. Just pause the video and copy that. It's free wide, this ship, so as long as you copy, you know, one side identically on the other side, you cannot go wrong, as long as you're following along, basically. Right, so now we're working our way to the back end. So this is where it's going to start angling down. But yeah, this build's massive. It took me ages to figure this out, by the way. I went through many iterations of building this ship, that's for sure. But it was fun. You know, it's a beautiful ship. Right, so let's make a start on the top layer. So this is where the big cannon is at the top, which I'll show you how to build later on. Firstly, we're getting the shape down. That's what we're doing right now. All we're doing is getting the shape down. I always like building from the inside out, so if you get the shape down and everything, you know, just how you want it, then you can do all like the exterior parts and the accessories and all the good stuff, the little details. Right, so we're going to the back now, and this is where we're going to start angling down. So this is going to be a mix of like 2x2s, 2x1s, 3x1s, all that good stuff. And again, look, we're just making sure things are staying hollow. So what we will do later on is the snap trick. Right, so this is where the landing gear and the landing bay is going to be, but the shape is pretty much nearly complete. There's obviously a few bits missing, like the wings and stuff, but I'll show you that later. But yeah, that's the overall shape. So pause the video now and just literally copy this down. Right, so now that we got that down, we need to start putting some Deimos bellies around the ship, because obviously the problem is with this, right, it does look blocky. You can't get around that because of the way the habs are. You know, there's no like smooth parts that are just like all in ones, basically. And to kind of get around the blocky look, we need to use Deimos bellies. So that's why we're putting them down. Right, so here is where we're going to angle up. This is where the cockpit's going to be. We're going to have to do the snapping trick here as well, to make the cockpit blend in, basically. So I'll show you that in a minute. We'll just finish off the rest of the Deimos bellies, and then we'll get back to the cockpit. I think that's it, done. Yeah, nice. Right, so put a hab on top, because we're going to use the snapping trick in a minute, and that will be used for the cockpit, basically. So what we'll do here is we'll put some Deimos hulls, and then we're going to add some more bellies, and then we're going to add some Deimos cowlings, and this is going to blend into the cockpit. Luckily enough, it doesn't poke through the cockpit, so you don't have like weird things on the inside, which is good. So yeah, we'll use the Deimos cowlings now, which will angle in. Right, so the cockpit we're going to be using is the Cabot C4. So we're going to be doing the glitch, the drop down glitch. So it's where you build it above where it needs to be, and then you drop it down with F or whatever that button is on your Xbox controller, whilst holding select, and it will basically blend, it will snap down. So we do it like that, nice and easy. So you hold it, drop it down, and let go of the item select button at the same time, and done. And that is the shape complete, near enough. The only thing we got to do now is add some more cowlings, and we're going to add some Nova cowlings to break it up a little bit. So again, going for that angle, trying to get rid of the blocky look, so to speak. But it works. Annoyingly, you can't get around the blocky look for certain big ships and ships like this without mods and stuff. This is a pure vanilla build, by the way. The only thing I've done differently is extended the ship size. I've not used any like modded ship parts or anything like that. So that's just trying to keep it vanilla. But vanilla is very blocky. I'm hoping a mod will fix that one day though, which I'm sure it will, to be fair. I'm very sure. Right, so here is where we're going to do the wings. So we're going to use a Stroud nose cap, the 2x2s, and then we're going to use a Stroud nose cap, the 1x1s, because we need to change the individual colours of them later on. So, because where it goes from like a black to a red, obviously these are so big they can only be one colour unless you like mix and match the the detailed parts, but that's not going to do for what we're doing. So we're going to go for the individual parts, and that will let us paint them properly later on. So that's the reason we're using these. So what we can do here, just select all 4, duplicate and copy across. Saves building them again. Right, now add some Nova cowlins to the ends to round off the wings nicely, and then we'll be using some Deimos bellies and Deimos cowlins for the back. Otherwise they'll just look like really weird looking wings without any like angles. So yeah, we'll put the bellies down here, and then we'll put some cowlins on top, and it'll just give the wings a bit more shape. We'll use some Deimos parts on the Nova cowlins at the side. And what you can do is what I've done a minute ago, select all these parts, I'll show you how in a minute, and just copy them across basically. Saves rebuilding them on the other side, just copy it all across, duplicate. So where's that Deimos part? Where is it? It's the Deimos Stroud, isn't it? There we go, Stroud cap. Sorry, it's not Deimos, it's Stroud. Being an idiot. So yeah, just select them and just copy them across. Lovely jubbly, nicely done. And there we go. The wings look so much better, don't they, once you've got like some bellies and cowlins on, because it just gives them a bit more shape instead of just flat. So nice. And look, she's taking shape now, she's starting to look good. Right, so at the back here, what we're going to do is this is where we're going to place the reactor. So we're going to get rid of this 3x3. We've got the engine obviously hidden in there, but what we'll do is we'll place a grav drive and a reactor. The grav drive we'll use will be the small thin one, so it can sit underneath the engine, so the engine won't be like an unattached module, and then the reactor can just sit in the middle. And then how we'll wall it off is use a 3x1 engineering bay or something, just anything long. You can even go like 1x1s if you really want, if you want to add like individual colours at the back. Maybe if you wanted like an angled like black or red at the back, I'd go that way. But this is how we're going to hide the reactors and all the other bits. So nice and easy. I like the reactors and stuff on show for certain ships, but for this one, being a Warhammer ship, and going by like pictures for reference, and obviously the model itself, it doesn't have a lot of this stuff like on the outside. I could be wrong, there could be like another variant that does, but from what I've seen it doesn't, so we're just hiding it. Right, time to build that massive turret that sits at the top. So we're going to be using HABs for this. We're going to be using the Hope Tech HABs. We're not going to build it too big, but we'll use the Hope Tech HABs to extend it out, and then we'll place a radiator and a thruster. I've seen a thruster that I like. That looks like a gun. It looks like a cannon. You know, the end of a cannon, basically, like a barrel. So let's find the radiator. I like the radiator because it gives it like a bit more character. So I like using the radiator where I can. Where is it? Hope Tech thruster. There you go. And that's the massive cannon. Nice. Right, so at the top here, for some little, you know, minor details, we can add some Deimos spines. Very good for details. They work really well. They break up the shape a bit and just add a bit more character to the ship. So worth doing. Obviously, you don't have to do this. Just a little bit of extra flavour. So what we'll do is we'll add some more spines along this part here, from the cockpit leading all the way to the middle section. Again, purely for character. It's not something you have to do, but I find, like I said, it just breaks the shape up a little bit, and just makes it look overall look a little bit better. So this one, this option is optional. So, you know, do it if you want. If not, you can have weapons up the top if you want. You know, up to you. Right, so this is where we're going to do some more snapping tricks, okay? Because this engine, the one at the back here, is not gonna sit directly in front of the one there. So we'll just snap it down so it does. And then this will give us the room to make an angled slope at the back without having an engine on show, basically. So that's why we did that. We just waited till this point to do it because it was, you know, not needed at the time when we first built it. And then what we can do here with the Deimos hull, same again, snap it down. So now that that's hidden and out of the way, And I mean, we could have done this at the start, but I didn't see the point. It's just easier just to get the shape down nice and quick, and then we start fiddling with the details later on. But we're going to be using spines now to build the wing tail of the gunship, basically. So it's a shame they're not bulkier. If they were a bit bulkier, they'd look a bit better because they're quite thin, but they're the only items in the game that allow you to do this. So it is what it is. We've got to work with what we got. So we're going to use a Deimos tail, and I believe there's a Shroud. I believe it's called the Shroud. Where is it? Yeah, the Shroud engine bracer. We'll use that and some Deimos wing ends to build the tail, basically. And we're going to add some more spines as well to the back, just so it comes out from the back and goes into the angle nicely. I think we'll use the... we'll use D. I think D looks better. E's a bit too thin. Yeah, we'll go with D. D works. So just copy that across to the other side. Job done. Right, so this part can get a bit funny because it will start saying unattached modules. So just put a Deimos belly underneath. Put that there. Nice. Nicely done. And she is looking good now. Right, so at the back here, engine time. What we're going to use is a radiator and then Hope Tech pipes, and then place a the massive engine. I forget its name now. I literally skipped my mind. The Nova, I believe it's called, isn't it? The Supernova, that's it. Well, not that one. That's too big. That is a mod, that engine. We're not using that one. So yeah, Supernova. So it extends out a bit because on the picture and on the model, the engine's quite long. So we're going for that. Now you can have 3, but I prefer using different engines. So have the one in the middle, and then use these 2. The normal Novas, not the Supernovas, because I think it just gives it a bit more shape. You can have all 3 of the bigger ones, but I think this just looks so much better. Yeah. Right. Time to build the landing bay. So one thing I suggest you do when you do this, so I'm using the NG20 landing gear and the Hope Tech landing bay. So with the landing gear, I pretty much put it all underneath. The moment you start adding a ton of weapons, it's just going to, like, every time you add another weapon or 2, it'll be like, oh, you're missing landing gear, you're missing landing gear. Right, just get around that problem and just put all the landing gear down that you can. These ones are good because they got the most thrust, so it's better than some of the other ones because some of the other ones don't have a lot of thrust at all. And then at the front here is where we're going to put our docker, so it's nice and hidden and out of the way. And then we'll surround it with landing gear, just because it's just easier just to get rid of the problem in the future of like, oh, you need more landing gear, just put them all down now. Problem solved. Easy. Right, so up here we're going to be building the wings that are at the side by the cockpit. So we'll be using the Shroud engine bracer again, and then another Deimos wing. The problem is it's not too long. I tried when I first built this, I put 2 engine bracers at the front, and it just looked way too long. It looked too stupid, so just use 1. I wish you could have a variant that was just a little bit longer, but you know, just working with what we got. And then copy these across, and then that is literally the shape pretty much complete at this point. Looking good. So the only things to add now are some minor details. So adding fuel tanks at the side. The reason I've done this is because obviously a lot of the Warhammer 40k ships have like the Chaos Sigils or the Space Marine Aquilas. Obviously we don't have those, so we just use these. Right. Building the side wings. So a couple of things here. I tried a lot of other items and they did not work. They looked good, but going up at the camera in Shipbuilder does my nut in. Just want to point that out. Anyways, the other items don't make it look as not as angled, because they did, but it just didn't have that nice shape. It's hard to explain, but the cargo is what worked the best for me, so we're just using this. It makes it look a bit blocky, but it is what it is. But yeah, no, I'm happy with that shape. I am happy with that shape. And then all we do here is just add a Hope Tech thruster. Again, we love the Hope Tech thrusters, and it looks like the turret. So underneath the wings, we're going to use some Nova bracers. We're going to use another Hope Tech thruster. We're going to use a Deimos tail, a Deimos hull, and Deimos bumpers, and that's to make the turret that look like a turret underneath the wings. I believe it's a turret or a cannon. Someone correct me on my knowledge there. My knowledge is a little bit lacking in the 40k universe for Space Marines, but yeah, we'll be using those parts, and it'll look like the turret underneath basically, and you can attach weapons to it as well, which is good. Right, so we'll add the Dynamos tail, we'll move that up. This is near enough complete. We add some Hope Tech pipes at the end. That'll break up the shape a bit, make it look a bit nicer. Yeah, it's looking good. I think if we just add the Dynamos bumpers, the where are they? Oh, they're up top here. I think that'll, yeah, we're gonna go with that. That looks nice. So yeah, that's it. That's the turret done, and just copy this across to the other side. Basically, looks nice. Looks really nice. Like it. Okay, so the side engines above the wings. This is where you're going to use the supernova, and then we're going to go radiator, pipes, radiator, tyre engine breaker. Obviously, use the engine breaker of your choice. I like the tyre one because it kind of blends into the ship and angles inwards. So let's just add it now so I can show you what I mean. So I'm not waffling. Where is it? There it is. Right, so if we flip that, we'll move it down because that's way too high. That doesn't look right. Yeah, no, that don't look right. We need to move this down. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Just copy that across to the other side. Nice. Right, weapon time. So use the weapon mounts at the sides here because you want some weapons at the front, and then we'll start putting some weapons underneath the wings at the back there. So for weapons, I went with like obliterator weapons and the 280C missile launchers. I just literally covered this ship in weaponry, and go, as I say, dealer's choice. Go with what you can. Obviously, if you use console commands and mods, you can add way more weapons. So yeah, go wild, guys. Honestly, have fun. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I know it's a little bit blocky, but just using what we got, you know, making the best of it, I think I've done an alright job. Let me know in the comments what you think. Go with a colour theme that you like. Obviously, if you want Ultramarines blue, if you want Imperial Fist like yellow. I went for the Khorne theme because I like chaos, but obviously there's so many colour variants that you can do, so just go wild and have fun with it. But let me know in the comments what you think of the ship, guys, because I think I nailed it. I really do. I think I've done a good job with this one. And there she is complete, guys. I think she looks absolutely banging. She would make Khorne proud. This ship is going to get a lot of skulls for the Skull Throne. Let's go and make Khorne proud. Let's go and destroy some Crimson Fleet.